Welcome friends to another episode. Today we're in Super Morzine. We're doing some trail checks. Super Morzine is good for all levels of riding, beginner through to expert. We're going to start today's ride over in the Serausaux area. They're generally more mellow trails. So you want to come off the Super Morzine chair, go straight forward and look out for the Soylent Green run. The Avoria's MTB crew have stepped it up this year and got these signs on there. You've got your difficulty level, your descent, and everything else you want to know, closing times and all that. And that's at the top of each of the runs. Right, so we've just dropping into the Soylent Green. And it's a brilliant trail actually, because if you're a beginner then it's perfect for building the confidence up and just feeling the flow. And then if you really want to get a bit sendy, there's a couple of just put it there. There's a couple of sort of big, like well spaced out rollers which you could probably try and huck them, try and gap them. So I think I'm going to try and grow a pair of kahunas and give it a go for you guys. Woo! Oh man, that was good. But worth bearing in mind, if you are going to start sort of sending the bigger gaps on this trail, just look out, because there is a lot of beginners on it during peak times. Whew. Super mellow tables here. And we've got a lovely little step up down here. Take a look at it. Splits off blue, red, green. Gonna have a little look at the red section. Looks quite intimidating, but it's a really good jump, like a good step up to practice with, because you've got a big case marker on there and it's quite mellow. So if you're sort of new to sort of looking to get some bigger air, this one is prime. So with this one we want to take quite a bit of speed into it, carry as much as we can, so we can pedal down the run in and then really give it like a pull on the bars to try and get over this lip. Let's take a look at it from the other angle. So it's definitely not small, but it's not too big either. So people have come up short on it and lived to tell another tale. It's always such a great feeling when you get a step up smooth, because it feels like you barely sort of come off the ground. The impact, there's like little to no impact whatsoever. Bit of rain last night, but the trails are actually still running real nice. A little bit slippery as you'd expect, but you saw the amount of water back there. Just flowy greatness, this. Right, that's a little lap of the Serausaux. Let's go up and hit one of the other blue trails here. So at the top of the Serausaux you can hang a right. It's going to take you to this beauty of a trail. Stand High Patrol. Scrub Mountain. Nice. Here we've got these lovely tables. Beauty. It's made real nice. So we've come out of the beautiful jump section up here. Take a high line to the left and you've got this North Shore drop, which again is just built perfectly for progression. It's a feature that's not too big, but it is enough to sort of push yourself to work up to. Woo! Yeah, so the drop itself, we're looking at about 6 foot high, 8 foot long. And then after that, it's going to take you off into this tabletop over here. Here we go. Looks quite intimidating, but really the drop is quite close. So as long as you've got your basic sort of drop skills dialed, this is going to be a real good feature to progress onto, because the drop is, it's a decent size, it's not too big, but it's not too small either, so you can push yourself if you're learning drops. You've seen it a couple of times, just where I've been stood here, a couple of people were pedalling quite hard off of the North Shore, and it's just dropping them way too far. They're sort of bottoming out their suspension and whatnot. So this one, you don't really need to take too much speed off. You just want to make sure you don't drop your front wheel off of the drop before your back wheel comes off. But maybe we can do a drops tutorial another time. So when you hit the midpoint of this blue run, you can take the green and it will take you down to the Zore Chairlift, or left and it goes back to the Serausaux area. We've had our warm up over in Serausaux. Let's now go and session some of the trails over at Zore, which are a bit more fruity. So the Zore Chairlift can get crazy busy, as I'm sure you've all seen. Just this morning we had, I mean, we probably didn't wait long, probably about 15 minutes, but the queue was all up around the corner. And then we've done one run, come down and it's empty. So if you can time it right when people are having lunch, you can get some quick laps in. Guys are some of the most active trail builders in the area, so they'll always try and repair the big holes in the trail and do whatever they can to keep it running smooth. Woo! Trails see a lot of traffic, so expect some roughness. They're actually running real nice right now. We're going to stop for a little bite to eat at this restaurant under the lift.
Coffee.
So this feature here, come out of a pretty chopped up berm into this sort of setup jump, quite a mellow double, and then you just got to sort of coast off of this thing. Doesn't need much more than that, but then a bit of speed, a little bit of pop. The good thing about this drop is the takeoff's really mellow, so it's not going to kick you. It's good to progress onto. Got this new feature, which is a massive hip. Oh, that was filthy. We're talking 10 foot high. Ew! It's absolutely huge. You can go as big and as fast off of this as you want. We've seen some guys land it all the way over here, so you can send it to oblivion. Right, let's head into the middle section of the trail. Whee! This trail's got some good flow with some rooty little sections in it. Sections in it. Oh! This trail has a few little options where you can peel off to the blue, so you don't have to stay on this the whole way through. Like a rooty flow. So a look at Super Morzine wouldn't be complete without the big boy jumps. Over on Hattuck, lovely section of jumps here, which are definitely going to sort the men from the boys. Couple of big old senders, As you can see, they're kind of peaked up double. You're going to hip off to the right, and then it's full commitment into the big road gap. So it does look like you can get out of this hip cleanly and huck the next double and just about get over it, or maybe put in a couple of cranks, as they like to call it, just to make sure you're going to get over it in one piece, because if you case that road gap, you're going home. Ready when you are. It's just like you say, once you get that first one, it's spot on. Cheers for that.
No worries, man.
Cool, that's a proper buzz, isn't it? Cool, I bet this has claimed a few people, hasn't it? Oh! So after sending that, the key to this line, in my opinion, is this hip. If you get the hip super nice and land it high up, then you can just roll, I reckon, off of this. If you come in, send it a bit deep, or on the inside where it's a bit flatter, you're going to want to put a couple of cranks in just to make sure you get over this lip, because it's got a huge knuckle on it. If you catch that, it's almost game over. Oh, she's rough as they come. A lot of massive roots. We have actually got a few little sends down here. Couple of little gaps. So we've teamed up with MTB Beds this week, and they've given us an MTB TRAILHUB 5% discount code. All details for that are in the description. So I think it's now time to face the Widowmaker. They call it the Widowmaker. It's a massive tabletop with a couple of lines to it. If you've been to Morzine, you've seen it. You've probably seen an ambulance attending underneath, because it's a massive jump. People give it a go all the time. But there's a nice flowy blue run that goes into it, and then we're going to go and have a little look at the Widowmaker itself. The trail before it is nice and flowy. Got some really mellow tables in it, some real nice berms in typical Super Morzine style. Yeah. Going for it. The hip. See this hip here. Really nice setup jump. Get your style on. And then this jump, you really do want to go no brakes. The right side, the blue, is a lot more mellow. It's just going to send you forward, whereas the left side is going to kick you up, and it's right under the lift, so you got the pressure of loads of people watching. Another thing that's well worth bearing in mind is the wind. This place is in the open, and you can see the flags. They've usually got a couple of flags up. You can see the way the wind's blowing. Make your own call. So you see it's quite gusty at the minute, and it might not look like much, and you'd probably be all right, but once the wind catches you in the air, there's nothing you can do. You're just a complete passenger. Woo! Yeah. Definitely the key for that is just do not touch your brakes going into it. Oh! Right folks, that's a wrap from the Super Morzine trail check. Be sure to check out the rest of our trail check series. I'll leave a link in the description. See you in the next one. That's a wrap. Cut! First little gem that I'd like to add is these little barbecues. Look at this. Put yourself a cheeky little Weber up there. I mean, I'm not sure who is honestly going to bring the meat up on the chairlift with them, but it's there, and I'm pretty sure you'd be able to use it if you wanted to. Anyway, that's enough talk of meat. Let's go and hit some trails.